Greetings to all in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I hope you all are having a blessed um, uh, 25 days fast. You have initiated a blessed 25 days fast, and I hope and pray that these 25 days will be a blessed, a spiritual um days for all of you. So last week we talked about typology or typological narratives regarding virgin birth. I hope you all remember what the all the typologies that we talked about, especially in Old Testament, how we as we study Bible, we see virgin birth narratives in small events, and we try to find out the mystery, or we try to understand the mystery of virgin birth using small events. For example, Jacob's ladder, we talked about burning bush, we talked about Noah's ark, we talked about Ark of the Covenant. There are so many typologies, okay, and all of them are somehow associated with virgin birth and directly associated with nativity, God becoming human, God incarnating. So that's a very important part of the mystery. And today, I think this will be the last session for in order to understand the mystery of incarnation. Today we're going to take a direct reference to that event, and that event is the event of nativity. Okay, so we'll be specifically talking about that event when God took birth, and how the iconographical traditions tried to express that beautiful mystical moment. So today I have taken a very common icon, a Byzantine icon. I hope you all know when I say Byzantine icon, there is a Byzantine school of iconography, there is a Coptic school of iconography, there is an Ethiopian school of iconography. There are different schools of iconography, and iconography, if you have attended my previous session, it talks about the expression of faith regardless of um, which nation or which culture you belong to. Okay, so I have taken a common icon of nativity, which is quite similar for all the iconographical traditions, but there are so many symbols in this icon. That's why I took this particular icon. So before we talk about, or before we read this icon and some other unique icons, I want to show you um, a very ancient picture of Mother Mary with Child Jesus. Okay, if you have attended my previous session on iconography, some of you might remember this particular picture. If you remember, could you please share with us, like, which this picture is taken from which place? I hope you all remember. Any guesses?
Is it from the catacombs, Acha?
Yeah, and this one is from the catacomb of Priscilla at Rome. So here we see Virgin Mary along with child Jesus. Okay, so the person is standing next to Mother Mary, that's not Joseph. The depiction of Joseph along with Mother Mary came very late. You know, that tradition of depicting Joseph with Mary and child Jesus, you know, that whole picture of a holy family, that picture came very late. Especially it originated in the West more. Whenever we talked about a nativity or Christmas, the most common images, especially in the early churches in the first 10 centuries of Christianity, especially, we see Mother Mary along with child Jesus. So you might ask me, who is that other person? Um, there are some interpretations that, you know, that person is pointing us towards something, and that's why I took the whole picture in order to show it to you. There is a star kind of symbol just above Mother Mary, so that's the Star of Bethlehem. These are just interpretations, so probably, you know, that person who is pointing towards the star, that might be one of the wise men. Some people say that it's one of the wise men or the shepherd. There is another interpretation which looks quite for me, it seems to be more acceptable. That is, that person might be a prophet who is pointing towards something that is going to happen. And I think it's Isaiah. And these are interpretations because no one has written the name of that particular person. But whatever it may be, perhaps this is the oldest depiction of nativity, and you can clearly see eyes of Christ. One of the most clear features of Christ, of anyone, is the eyes of Christ, and eyes is looking at you. Fine. So let's move ahead. So I have taken this particular icon in order to talk about so many things. There are so many things. When you look at this icon, it seems, okay, this is the icon of nativity, and this icon, but it doesn't talk about nativity only. It doesn't talk about Christmas only. When you look into this icon, when you see is specific symbolic elements within these icon, you will understand it's not about the icon of it's not just about icon of nativity or of one particular event. It's talking about that whole mystery of God incarnating. ദൈവം ജഡമായി തീർന്നു, ദൈവം നമ്മുടെ ഇടയിൽ വന്നു എന്നുള്ള ആ വലിയൊരു രഹസ്യത്തെ ചിത്രീകരിക്കുകയാണിത്. It's not talking about December 25th according to the new calendar or January 7th according to the old calendar. ഒരു one eventനെ അല്ല ഇത് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. It's talking about that whole mystery, and you will understand that how the Eastern Church, which is the Orthodox Church, understands nativity. These days, when we have started the 25 days Lent, I sometimes wonder that do we really understand why are we having fast? Why do we fast for the nativity season? If we are having a fast, if we are having a fasting for nativity season, so this might not be just about celebration, right? There will be something much more, and I really wonder if our people, we really understand. Whenever whenever the Christmas season comes, we celebrate with a lot of colorful light and illustrious, in a very illustrious manner, right? I really wonder if you really understand or not. By the end of this session, I think you will be able to understand why I said so. So here you see a lot of things happening. It's not just baby Jesus and Mother Mary, and we see a lot of figures over here. And some of you might be able to understand who is who, right? You can see angels, you can see a person sitting beneath and wondering or worrying about something. You see a lot of things. You can see three men looking upward, looking at the stars. So you already know who are those three people. Fine. So let us go one by one, and let us first of all look into something which is so unconventional for us right now, which is the cave. Now you tell me, what does the Bible says regarding the birth of Christ? What was the location? How it looked like in the nativity? Then,
It's
yeah,
manger.
manger, right? It's manger. But can you explain? Do you see a manger here? Do you see a manger here? What is manger, by the way? What is manger? Nowadays, manger has become a synonym word for the place where Christ took birth. But what is manger?
A type of cow shed.
A cow shed, but specifically talking about it, manger is a food cart where we give food
പുൽത്തൊട്ടി.
to പുൽത്തൊട്ടി എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴും that particular thing is it's for the animal. It's basically for animals. So, okay, fine. Whatever it may be. So whenever we draw a pulkud, whenever we make a manger, we probably make it like with a lot of straw and lot of grass, and we make it like as if it's എന്തോ പുൽക്കൂട് അല്ലേ നമ്മൾ കാണുന്ന രീതിയിൽ അതിനെ നമ്മൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നു. But here you see a cave. and which is not written in the Bible. It's nowhere written in the Bible that Christ took birth in a cave. Don't you think it's quite strange? Like within icons, we depict Christ taking birth or lying within a cave. നിങ്ങളിൽ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടോ കേവിനെ കുറിച്ച്? How come Christ has been depicted lying within a cave? So, okay, in the early church, especially in the first 10 centuries of Christianity, the reason why I'm saying first 10 centuries of Christianity, because after schism, after the Roman Catholic Church, I hope you all know that history, 1054, within the West, this whole depiction started coming of making a Gaushala, making a stable where you put Christ. But before that, Christ was always the nativity scene. Within the nativity scene, Christ was always depicted being born within a cave. ഒരു ഗുഹയ്ക്കകത്താണ് ക്രിസ്തു ജനിച്ചതായിട്ടാണ് എപ്പോഴും കാണിക്കുന്നത്. Even the early fathers used to talk about that Christ took birth in within a cave. Especially the earliest father is Justin Martyr. He speaks about Christ took birth within a cave. But why cave? Why cave is so important? Now let's talk about certain iconographical examples where you see similar features. For example, this is the icon of Epiphany or the baptism of Christ. Here also you see, Christ within a cave-like structure. I hope you all can see that, right? Within a
Yes, sir.
cave-like structure, he is completely submerged within a water, completely submerged. So again, a cave-like structure. Now, can you all tell me which icon is this?
Resurrection of Christ.
Yeah, resurrection of Christ, was more specifically the descent to Hades. Descent to Hades, or Malayalathil parayable Padala Praveshanam. Why do we call it as descent to Hades? The most specific icon for resurrection of Christ is this one, where Christ is going down to Hades and getting back Adam and Eve and all the people who departed before Christ. So here you see Adam and Eve. Again, here also, in this icon also, you see a cave-like structure where, on both the side, you see a cave-like, rocks. Within that, again, Christ. So just a minute. And again, coming back to the nativity icon, I want to share it with another icon of crucifixion. Can you all see a cave again here? Can you see a cave again? Yeah, എവിടെയാണ് ആ കേവിനെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നത്? One
Beneath the
cave beneath the cross. Now, beneath the cross, do you see anything very strange?
Skull of
skull of
Adam.
Adam.
Skull of Adam. Okay. Okay. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാം അത് skull of Adam ആണെന്ന്. Okay. Okay. So that's great. So skull of Adam. Why skull of Adam over there? And do you see something similar over there, especially regarding color? What is the color within the cave? The color
Black.
Black.
black. So in iconography, one of the colors that we really we don't use much. It's very rare that we use black. But here you see Christ being born within a cave, and it's completely dark. It's completely dark. Now you tell me, try to contemplate and tell me why it's dark. What could be the reason that it's like it should be actually full of light, no? Whenever we see a Western painting of nativity, we see it's full of light. But here you see dark. Why?
Jesus is the light.
Jesus is light, but why inside that cave it's completely dark? Why it's dark?
Inside
Why
the
it's not
cave depicts the time before Jesus.
time before Jesus? And you are on the right track. Now let's get more specific. Why dark? It
He came to
shows, yeah.
get rid of the darkness.
Great, thank you. So it get rid of the darkness. So he was born within that darkness. നമ്മുടെ അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക്, whenever we say, Christ became like us, it's like, he came to that humbleness. Saint Ephraim speaks about this. He says that I came to know who God is because he bent down for me. He bent down for me. എൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു താഴ്മയിലേക്ക്, എൻ്റെ ഒരു താഴ്ത്ത ആ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക് വന്നു. ഞാൻ ഈ ക്രൂസിഫിക്ഷന്റെ ഐക്കൺ, the reason why I showed you crucifixion icon is because the skull of Adam, if that was our avastha, we were in that state, completely, within the sin. and Christ came into that. And he is full of light. He came into that so that he can, bring us out. And that's why I showed you the icon of descent to Hades. So our avasthayiലേക്ക് വന്നു, and the icon here, it's talking about not just a one event where Christ took birth. He's talking about that whole economy of salvation, that whole ministry of Christ, where it was not just a one-time event. He came down so that he can bring darkness within that, so that he can bring light within that darkness. So അത് ഒരു particular കാര്യം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കി എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. Now, അതിനെ കുറച്ചുകൂടി മനസ്സിലാക്കുവാൻ നോക്കാം. Christ in a burial cloth. See the way he is being wrapped. He's not wrapped like a child. He is wrapped like a dead body. Whenever a funeral takes place, I'm going to show it to you. When a person dies, this is how they wrap him, right? Now tell me, നിങ്ങൾ കർത്താവിനെ കടത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നത് എവിടാണ്? Where is he lying?
In a cave.
In a cave, but within what?
In a trough.
Within
a trough where the
Tomb.
animals drink water and food.
That's signifying it's foreshadowing his coffin.
Yeah,
his light.
he is lied within a tomb.
Yeah, his coffin.
It's coffin, and the way he's been wrapped, it's like he is a dead body, but with open eyes, so he is not dead. So one particular icon, that is of nativity, it's talking about death of Christ. It's talking about resurrection of Christ. So I hope you all know this song. You all might be excited to sing this song during Eldo Perunal. Shishuvai Soyame Velivai. I hope you all know that song, right? ആ സോങ് നിങ്ങളൊന്ന് ഇനി ഇത് ക്ലാസ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് മതി നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കണം. ആ പാട്ടിനകത്ത് within that hymn you will find even the portion which talks about his death. Shishuvai Swayame Vilivaini, that particular paragraph talks about his birth, but I think it's a third paragraph which says that which talks about his death. So as like that particular hymn, which not just talks about his birth but also talks about his death, likewise this icon also talks about his birth as well as his death. Okay, so his death, he is, just a minute, let me just shift this. Okay. He is dressed in a burial clothes to foreshadow his death, and cave is also foreshadowing the grave in which he would be buried and where he would resurrect. So, one icon, that's the most unique thing regarding icon. Within one icon, you can talk about so many things. Not just that one particular event, but you can talk about so many things within that one icon. Now, let me try to give a visual contemplation to this. So on one side, you see the nativity of nativity of Christ, the icon of nativity of Christ. On the other side, you see his resurrection. When the women came and visited tomb, there was an angel who said that he is no more here, right? He resurrected. So this is that one coffin, and this is the other coffin. The virgin womb and the empty tomb. And this is the most beautiful thing regarding the nativity icon of the nativity icon. Now, the cave symbolizes the fallen world. You already shared it. It symbolizes the fallenness of all of us, and it collectively talks about that whole ministry of Christ. What was his purpose? Why he incarnated? Saint Athanasius, when he begins his, which is I hope you all know this, the most famous work of Saint Athanasius of Alexandria is on the incarnation. He begins the whole work talking about all the on the incarnation by saying that what was the purpose? Why he incarnated? So he incarnated. That whole purpose could be visually expressed using this cave. The cave connects nativity to Christ's tomb, and cave proclaims the cosmic salvation. It talks about the salvation of all. Are you going to understand it further when I'm going to talk about another very important symbol within the nativity? I hope you already have seen it. And the cave is the womb of new creation. If you clearly see this icon, again, I'm going back. You will clearly see this icon, and you will find that that whole cave is in the center, and all the things are happening around that cave. And that cave within which Christ has born is now becoming a womb of a new creation. That's why Paul says that Christ is the firstborn of the new creation. Now, okay, I should have put some animation. What is the other symbolic thing that you see within this icon? Okay, see, only within this portion, within that cave, there is not just darkness. There are two very important symbols.
Two animals.
Two
One
animals,
Donkey.
donkey
and
and
one horse.
donkey
And
and
one horse. Horse, is it?
it's ox basically. Kala.
Okay.
Okay. So, donkey and an ox. If you try to get the earliest depictions of nativity or earliest depictions of a birth of Christ, this symbol, cave might be not so common. By the way, the cave is common, but in terms of depiction, one of the oldest depictions of which talks about nativity of Christ contains the symbol of ox and donkey. Why? The ox and donkey are two of the most ancient symbols that appears in nativity icons or sculptures. These are the oldest one. In the ancient church, actually, the ox, as you know, the ox is എങ്ങനെ പറയാ, in present context, they call it as kosher meat, right? Kosher meat. The Jews call it kosher meat. So they consider it as a clean animal. So it's basically a it symbolizes Jews. And donkey, on the other hand, represents the Gentiles. And in Christ, these two, ox or Jews and Gentiles, ജാതിയരും വിജാതിയരും എല്ലാവരും ഒരുമിച്ച് coming together at one point. There is no such discrimination now. There is this, I think it's one of the laws written in one of the books of Moses. I need to check where it is written that never tie ox and donkey together, because for them it can never be together. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ that has also been completely shattered. And now when Christ took birth, that whole discrimination, there is no more discrimination now. There is no Jew and no Gentile. അങ്ങനത്തെ അതിനെ കാണിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് in all the icons, all the ancient icons of nativity, you will find this particular symbol. And in Christ, these two seemingly opposed groups, these are opposing groups, no? They they come together as one people, as one family. So that's the symbolism of ox and donkey. So this is one of the oldest depictions of a nativity. It's done on a sarcophagus. It's basically a coffin. അവിടെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഡോങ്കിയും ഒരു ഓക്സും കാണാൻ പറ്റും. അവിടെ മാതാവിനെ പോലും കാണിച്ചിട്ടില്ല അല്ലെ? വേറെ ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സിനെ പോലും കാണിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഡോങ്കി ആൻഡ് ഓക്സ് അവിടെ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇത് കാണിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. എസ്പെഷ്യലി if you are making that whole depiction in a place where there are no more Jews or there is a mixed community. So in order to show this, for Jews, it was never, they will never put ox and donkey together. Now here you see, through Christ, they all are coming together, or Jews and Gentiles are coming together. So that was the symbolism behind using ox and donkey. Okay, as I show you this sarcophagus, do you see something very another symbol which is quite strange or quite unconventional? Not the birds. ഇത് just ചോദിക്കുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. It has nothing to do with a nativity. I'm just showing it out of curiosity. You can see another symbol also here.
The symbol of Hitler.
A symbol of Hitler. Okay, that's not the right word to say. Use it, but yes, swastika. So you can say, by the way, swastika is one of the most commonly used symbols in all the religions, including Christianity. So I just wanted to show it to you. There are many other. If you're going to talk about cross anytime in history, we will talk about specifically regarding swastika. It's not the cross. It's not the symbol of Hitler. Hitler used it, but it's very old. It's very old. One of the oldest depictions of swastika is in Ukraine. So it's not even in India. Fine. Another relief work. It's basically, these are not sculptures, these are relief work. Majority of these relief works are done on sarcophagus, coffins. Here also you see probably there was an ox also, പക്ഷെ അത് നമ്മൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. But you can see a donkey here, and again the nativity scene. You can see star, you can see Mother Mary. Again, an ox and a donkey. So you see, it's so common. It was so very, it was one of the most common symbol used within the nativity depictions or icons or sculptures, reliefs. So the ox, now ഇവിടെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ Aisha, the book of Aisha, chapter 1, verse 3, you can read that portion, but I am sure that you are familiar with one of the songs that we sing in Malayalam. Um, ആകാശമേ കേൾക്ക ഭൂമിയെ തരിക. I'm not a good singer. പക്ഷെ നിങ്ങളിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും നല്ല സിംഗേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ there is one particular paragraph where we remember this particular biblical verse. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് പാടാവോ?
കാളവന്റെ ഉടയവന്റെ കഴുകുവന്റെ യജമാനന്റെ. അതേ എനിക്കറിയത്തില്ല.
അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് ഏറ്റവും നല്ലത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരു പുൽത്തൊട്ടിയിൽ അല്ലേ?
പുൽത്തൊട്ടിൽ അറിയുന്നല്ലോ എൻ ജനം അറിയുന്നില്ല.
He's taking an example there. We in that song, and even in the book of Isaiah, we taking the writer, the prophet Isaiah takes the example of the sea, the ox and donkey, which were never supposed to be together. They can understand the master, which is lying on a crib. Basically, it's the prophecy regarding Christ. But you, O Israel, ഇസ്രായേൽക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു നിയമമായിരുന്നല്ലോ ഇവർ രണ്ടുപേരും ഒരുമിച്ച് ഇടേണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ അവർക്ക് തന്റെ യജമാനനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കുവാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. Right? They can recognize, they are able to recognize their master, but you, O Israel, you has not known me. You never knew me. Okay. And the other biblical, not a biblical portion, other textual portion is from the pseudo Matthew എന്ന് പറയുന്നതായ ഒരു apocryphal ടെക്സ്റ്റിനകത്ത് ഈ പറയുന്നതായ ഒരു കാര്യം. And therefore the animals, the ox and the ass, and with him in their midst, insistently adoring him, worshipping him. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ ഈ നേറ്റിവിറ്റി സീനിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ ടെക്സ്റ്റിനെ എല്ലാം വിഷ്വലി വി സീ ദ ഓൾ ദീസ് ടെക്സ്ച്വൽ content being visually expressed. Between two animals, you are made manifest, between those two animals, something which are opposing, you are bringing all of them together. എല്ലാവരെയും യോജിപ്പിക്കുന്നതായ ക്രിസ്തു. അപ്പം incarnation or Christmas is not just a one-time event. It shows that how that incarnate God, the one incarnate God, brings everything together, everyone together. There is no such discrimination anymore. Now, another symbol is the wise men. അത് ഏറ്റവും common അല്ലേ? Whenever we talk about a nativity scene, certain things are very, very common. Like not common. We never compromise with the nativity tableau നമുക്കുണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഒരു skit ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും wise men must be there. Somehow we have decided that those wise men. Sorry. Okay. Don't go with the content. I by mistake I copied the same content. Okay, so wise men is the one of the another most common depictions or symbols that we have within the nativity scene. But Bible never says that there were three wise men, right? It just says that they brought three gifts. So since they had three gifts, so we assumed that there were three wise men. But and the early depictions also talks about three in the adoration of Magus or Magi or Magi എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴും within this sarcophagus also you see three Magus or three Magi coming together, with these three gifts and offering it to Christ. You can see the way Christ is receiving it from them. So let us go one by one what the things that we see within this icon. So we see a cave at the center of this icon. Then comes this portion where we see an old man with another old man. Can you all guess who is that person?
Shepherds.
Who? Who?
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. But who is
Is it
standing along?
John the Baptist?
The
No, it's
devil.
not John the Baptist.
Devil.
Okay. Who said devil?
Saint Jacob.
Oh, okay, Jacob uncle. Okay. Yeah, that's Joseph. Now that's so strange, no? because in all our nativity depictions, we see Joseph standing along with Mother Mary, right? But here we see Joseph, he is not even close to that cave, sitting somewhere quite close to cave, but he's worried about something. And we also see a person with very strange features, a strange attire, standing next to Joseph. And Jacob uncle rightly said that we used the word devil, but I prefer to use the word um, doubt. So here we see doubt, skepticism personified. So the Proto Evangelion, which is basically another apocryphal text or another additional text that we already use within our church, which talks about the birth of Mary, and that is the text which talks about as adormation of Mary. മാതാവിന്റെ ചരിത്രവും മാതാവിന്റെ മരണവും എല്ലാം സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ടെക്സ്റ്റാണ് ദി പ്രോട്ടോ എവൻഗേലിയോൻ of Saint James. Within that text, it says that Joseph had this confusion, and the confusion personified and came to him, and started encouraging him to doubt. What is that doubt? We already know that not regarding doubting about how can a virgin give birth, and doubt about everything, doubt about the whole thing. Yeah, like I the fundamental beliefs of Christianity are all standing on certain illogical elements or paradoxes. Virgin giving birth. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ലോജിക്കലി അതിനെ എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? Is there anyone who can logically explain virgin giving birth? No. അവിടെ ഒരു ഡൗട്ടിന്റെ ഒരു 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 സാധ്യതയുണ്ട്. There is a possibility of doubt. Then God dying. Can anyone explain how can God die? No, again, there is a possibility of doubt. God resurrecting, again, there is no a logical explanation. There is a possibility of doubt. So here, Joseph is being shown basically symbolizing all of us, symbolizing the whole creation, symbolizing whole humanity, doubting how can God become man? How can he come down? So whenever we all have doubts. We all have doubts, so whenever we go through that doubts, especially in our spiritual life, we are standing in place of Joseph. And that person who is standing next to Joseph, it's a vruddhanaya ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ. As you can see, he's an old man, right? In order to show that this doubt is not new, this doubt is continuous. It comes every now and then for everyone. സോ ദൈവം ജനിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളതിനെ കുറിച്ച് മാത്രം അല്ല ജോസഫ് അവിടെ സിംബലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. He symbolizes everything associated with our belief. But here, something very, very important, you can see Joseph is also having that halo of holiness, that halo of sainthood. So doubt is not something very, I'm not saying I'm not trying to encourage doubts, but I believe that doubts keep the faith alive. It always keeps the faith alive. We have doubts, right? But we try to learn and learn more. We try to understand more. As you can see, Mother Mary is not looking at Christ. She is looking at Joseph. So both the saints are looking at each other. Even in that doubt, Mother Mary looking at Joseph, she is trying to give him comfort and to support him. So that is the whole idea of this particular scene, which is quite strange within iconography, because in icons we don't see this thing much. No, sorry, in normal paintings we don't see this thing at all. In normal paintings we always see Joseph, Mother Mary, and along with Christ Jesus, right? Okay, then what's next? So we see three wise men, the three wise men looking up and gazing at the star, and from there we see shepherds being visited by angels, giving them the good news. Then we see these two symbols, the ox and donkey, symbolizing the whole humanity, where in present context we say where there is, it's not just Christian and non-Christian, we all are same in the eyes of God. He came not just for Christians, he came for all of us. He came not just for humans, basically. He came for the whole creation. That's why it's so important to contemplate why he took birth or why he was lying uh, in a manger. മേഞ്ചർ എന്തിന്റെ സാധനമാണെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ഫുഡ് കാർട്ടാണ്. അതായത് ഫുഡ് കൊടുക്കുന്ന ആർക്ക്? മനുഷ്യർക്കല്ല, മൃഗങ്ങൾക്ക്. For animal. So he came for the whole creation. It's a cosmic event. It's not just for humanity, it's for the whole creation. Then we see the star or that divine presence. ഇവിടെ സ്റ്റാർ ആയിട്ട് മാത്രമല്ല അതിനെ വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. It shows the divine presence of of God. And in the midst of all this happening, in the midst of everything that I shared, everything, you see Christ there. In this icon or in any icon, he is the heart of that picture. He is the womb of that picture from where the new creation arrives. So now let me share with you some other unique icons of nativity that I came across in my studies. And there are so many, but I have just chosen some of them. So here you see a very unique Syriac icon. Now, this is quite close to us, right? Syriac icon. Many people say, oh, we don't, as Syrians, we never have icons. We have icons. This is from a Syriac monastery, which is right now in Egypt. And you see the nativity scene again, similar features, right? Here you see Mother Mary lying on a carpet, and then you see Christ Jesus wrapped in a cloth like like a funeral body and lying in a coffin, and they are both within a cave. The color of cave is black. Here we don't see the ox and donkey, but that's very uncommon actually. In many of the old icons, we do see ox and donkey, and we also see Joseph. I hope you all can see Joseph. We also see the three wise men. Now, this is another very unique icon. On your left-hand side, you see the original one, which is basically from the Rabula manuscript. Rabula manuscript എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാവോ? ആർക്കെങ്കിലും പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? What is Rabula manuscript? You might have heard about it within history, if you had any history class. Actually, within iconography class, I talked about Rabula manuscript. അറിയാവോ? Rabula manuscript is a illustrated manuscript or illuminated manuscript. ഒരു manuscript ആണ്, Syriac manuscript ആണ്. And within that manuscript, you will find depictions as well. Depictions of Christ events or biblical depictions. So on your left-hand side, you see a nativity scene, and here we see something quite opposite. Mother Mary is quite worried, right? And Joseph is standing close to Christ. But on your right hand side, you see a recent imitation of the same old one. The one on your right hand side was done by a Syriac iconographer from Lebanon. His name was Father Abdo Badwi. He passed away last year, November. And he made this icon, a very simple icon, and he interpreted it by saying that Mother Mary is quite not worried, out of wonder. She is looking at her own baby, who is lying on a manger like the offering being kept above the altar. ത്രോണോസിന്റെ പുറത്ത് വെക്കുന്നതായ കാഴ്ചപ്പം പോലെ സ്വന്തം മകനെ കണ്ടപ്പോൾ ആശ്ചര്യത്തോടു കൂടി അമ്മ നിൽക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് Father Abdo Badvi, the one who painted this icon, he interpreted it in that manner. Next, okay, this is another Ethiopian icon. And in Ethiopian icon, again, the color features, you can see the color features. And നമ്മളിപ്പം സംസാരിച്ചതായ ഒരു very common symbol, which is the ox and donkey. അവിടെ പിന്നെയും കാണാൻ പറ്റും. And here we see the introduction of both Mother Mary and Joseph together. Now, this is an Armenian icon. And so I took examples of all the Oriental Orthodox Christians. Here, this is an Armenian icon. And here also you see ox and donkey. And within a cave, Joseph is worried. And then we see shepherds as well. Shepherds, they are bringing, but here we see that person, that doubt personified, also carrying a small lamb. I don't know why actually. I would like to know. I would like to know why he's been depicted with lamb, maybe later, and then other shepherds. ഇനി ഇത് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ എവിടെ നിന്നാണെന്ന് ആർക്കെങ്കിലും പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ പെട്ടെന്ന്? People who are in Kerala.
Shepherd Church, Acha.
No, no, not shepherd.
പാലിയേക്കര.
Palikarapalli. Yes, in Palikara you have two of the most clear depictions of nativity. I have taken two of them. The first one is basically the nativity, the left on your left hand side, and here you again you see Joseph along with Mother Mary. And as you all know that by the time we started depicting mural paintings within our church wall, we already had Roman Catholic influences, but there is nothing wrong in it. So Palikara mural. Should I call them icons? And that's a question, okay? Should I call them icons? Because last year, I think exactly during the same time, I was taking sessions on the same topic, and I talked about these depictions. So that question goes to all of you. Should I call them icons?
Maybe they are paintings, mural paintings.
And why not icons?
If you're an ordinary person, an unversed person, it looks like, it doesn't look like the ordinary icons we see, the usual icons we see. It looks
So
like more like a mural painting that we see on
is the
temple.
are these icons? These are icons. This one.
Yes.
Is this also an icon?
I would say we can call it an icon, because
We can,
it
right?
tells the story of, I mean, it's telling a biblical story, right?
Yeah. So we can call it an icon, an icon, right?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. And what about this one, the Rabula one? Can we call this also as an icon?
Yes.
And this one?
Yes.
And already we already talked about this icon. So okay. So all these are icons because they are not Indian, right? That's the unfortunate condition of our church. I purposefully kept this particular depiction because for us as a sorry to I'm not trying to criticize, but this is something that we must really appreciate our identity. We as Malayali, we always see things which are foreigners as those are good things, and we don't have anything good. These are also icons. Of course, there are some mistakes, not mistakes. It's a human error. It's fine. There is a human error within this icon also and this icon also. But for those churches, for example, if you show this icon to an Ethiopian and say that, oh, it's not an icon, it doesn't look like icons, they will, they won't hate you, but they will give you a proper answer. Because for Ethiopians, these are icons. For Armenians, these are icons. And by the way, for example, this icon, which is a Syriac icon done in Egypt, it's also done on wall. So basically, it's also a mural. And this icon carries a lot of mistakes. As I said, there is no ox and donkey here, right? But that's the unfortunate condition of our church. Sorry to say this. Okay, going back to our topic.
So Achan, that Paliakra icon, was that made by a Malayali?
No, I don't know who made it. I don't know who because in these icons or in murals, no one has written the name. But one thing that we can say, it was done within the Madhba, on eastern walls. Of course, there are mistakes. For example, we all have a picture of a Sacred Heart within our home, right? So there are certain things that we did out of not because of ignorance, because we didn't knew about it. So these are probably not done by maybe it might be done by a Malayali. I don't know. Fine. So that's not the whole point of showing you this icon. I call them the mural icon. So murals see, mural is a technique. Okay, icon is the style. Okay. Okay, that's the technical part. So in the first icon on your left hand side, something very unique that I found, I couldn't see it in other mural pictures or depictions, icons or paintings. ഒരു സ്വർഗീയ സമൂഹം, there is a community of angels or celestial beings present there, the way they have showed it. At that time, we didn't never had internet. I really appreciate the artist or artist in plural sense who really visualized it. So when we sing Ulavaga Studi Devattinu Manil and the Parayambu, whenever we sing that song, it basically symbolizes that the whole celestial beings are coming together along with us to sing aloud. So adine നമുക്കിവിടെ കാണാൻ പറ്റും. On your right hand side, again, this depiction of nativity, but there are some very very unique depictions here. You see again ox and donkey. Then just അതിന്റെ background ൽ നോക്കിക്കേ. Within this icon at the background, you see a lot of people and there are some animals. Can anyone identify certain animals? Certain very common animals, which we are sure that they were not there in Jerusalem or in Israel or Bethlehem. Those animals were not there. But since it is made in India, they purposefully kept those animals there. ഏത് animals ആണ് അവിടെ?
And elephant.
Horse. Elephant nativity scene എങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റത്തില്ല അല്ലേ? We can't even imagine elephant there. So the artist, the local artist so the question that who was it? Anu, the question that she asked, probably the person who painted this might be a Malayali because he only knows that there are elephants. ഒരു വെളിയിൽ നിന്ന് വന്ന ആളല്ലായിരിക്കും ചിലപ്പം. Okay. Then ഈ പെയിന്റിങ്ങിന്റെ I saw today the reason why I took 2 minutes more in order to start the session because I wanted to paste one picture pen painting. I saw a copy of this painting in another church which is quite old, older than Palikarapalli. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ വേണ്ടി മാത്രമാണ്. I will show it to you at the end. Now, identify this picture. Where is it?
Chepa, like is it Chepa Church?
Yeah, this is from Chepad. This is one, and it's of course not anatomically perfect. It doesn't look good. നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ബ്യൂട്ടി സെൻസിനനുസരിച്ച് അക്കോർഡിംഗ് ടു ആ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് ഓഫ് ബ്യൂട്ടി ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് ലുക്ക് ഗുഡ് ബട്ട് അഗെയിൻ ഫോർ മീ ദീസ് ആർ ഡൺ വിത്ത് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് spiritual aspect. Whoever made this, whoever drew this might not be an artist. If you can call the icon from Ethiopia as icon or this icon from Syria as an icon, then of course by that definition these are also icons. Now I want to show you a lot of show other nativity icons from all over the world, but because the time constraint, I can switch to another important aspect of nativity icon. So how many of you follow Shema Namaskaram or the common prayer book? If you don't, if I really recommend you all to use it. If you don't follow Malayalam, you can use the LRD application. So within the Shema Namaskaram and all the other liturgical songs, there are beautiful songs that talks about the birth of Mary. Of course, in the one that we use for Eldo Pernal for Nativity feast, within that feast, the songs of that feast, we can find a lot of songs and prayers that talks about nativity. So last to last year or 3 years back, I used one of those songs to depict a scene which is so beautiful. And this is that icon. It's a parchment icon. I used a parchment in order to draw this. It's basically a handmade parchment. And within this icon, if you can read Malayalam, please don't say it loud, but just tell me by looking at the picture. Just tell me, what do you see? What all things do you see?
In a cave.
In a cave. Again, in a cave. Okay. Then
Baby Jesus is surrounded by cherubims.
cherubims. Okay. Then
Mother Mary kneeling down.
kneeling down. Okay. Okay. Now, I know some of you have already read the whole song, so you got the context of it. So it's basically a song which we sing on Wednesday evening. Okay. And this song talks about nativity scene where Mother Mary is coming to Christ in order to give him milk and in order to feed him. But at that time, she saw so many seraphims, so many celestial beings around him. The fairy angels around his son. And then Mother Mary is singing or saying it or requesting his son my son, could you please ask these angels to move a bit so that I can enter within the cave and I give you milk? So that's a song that we sing during in one of our liturgical prayer. So song in English goes like this: Mary said, "You strengthen me to carry you. When I bore you in the cave, I saw your glory. The seraphim fly above your little crib. Command them to raise their wings that I may enter. To kneel down and worship you, Lord, at your crib surrounded by flames. I will give to you pure milk, which shall please your will." Now, see, the nativity scene or the nativity icon is not just being depicted visually. We sing nativity scenes. I will give you a one very visual, very intriguing visual contemplation. In that song, Shishuvai Soyame Vilivaini, if you know that song, if you can, I don't have the English version of that song. Shishuvai Soyame Vilivai, Shishuvai Soyame Vilivai. In that song, it says that although Christ was a small baby, a small child, he was, looking after the whole universe through his hand gestures, through the way, the way small babies make hand gestures, or they move their hand. In that way, the child was looking after the whole creation. So it's so beautiful the way the hymnographers have written, the poets have written these songs, that also shows the beauty of nativity, not just a visual depictions like icons. So, along with this, I want to show you these two icons. The one is from the one on your left hand side, it's from Egypt. The other one is from Greece. എന്താണ് ഇവിടെ? What do you see?
Mother Mary and child
Mother Mary and child. പക്ഷേ, what is she doing?
pointing, feeding.
Feeding. Again, the feeding icon of Mother Mary. Now, just asking you all, can you all imagine, can we keep a feeding icon of Mother Mary within our church today? And these are not just within the church, these are the monastery churches. And there is a reason why they put these icons within the church, to show that the one who incarnated is not just a divine being, he's a full human too. He's a complete human. I am feeding him. When there is a nativity icons where there are nativity icons where Mother Mary is feeding Christ. Just one more slide. No, two more slide. Now, can you all guess these depictions of nativity are coming from which country, and also which period? Where?
Persia.
Where? From where?
Persia.
No.
Looks like India.
It's probably from India, the Mughal
Okay.
times.
From which period?
Mughal.
The Mughal times.
These are Mughal miniature paintings. If you ever visit National Museum Institute in Delhi, you will find these depictions within the chamber of miniature paintings, Mughal miniature paintings. You will find these depictions. So, how come the Mughals, who were not Christians, they were Muslims, they depicted the scene of birth of Christ? That too, they depicting it. That's something they don't do, right? Why and how come they depicted it? And this is from the Mughal time. I think it is coming from 16th century. They're well preserved in the National Museum Institute. These are basically very small pictures. Can you all guess why it happened? Why in that particular period we see miniature paintings of Christ and other biblical figures as well? There is miniature painting of Joseph the dreamer from Old Testament that is also being depicted. പെട്ടെന്ന് പറ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക്
During that
വിടാം.
period, there was a
Their literature.
connection with Armenians.
During that period, they had relation not with Armenians. They might had, but the reason which I understood, which I understand, is because they had a very good communication with the recent arrival of Portuguese, especially the Jesuit priest. So on your left hand side, or sorry, on your right hand side, you see some people beneath. Those people are wearing hat. I hope you all can see that, right? On your right hand side, you see some people with hat.
Yes.
Those are those interpretation is that those were Europeans. Okay. So finally, again, we see a very, very different depiction of nativity, not within a cave, but within a palace. അതൊരു three different ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പടമാണ്. Now the final slide. Okay, I just visited one church today. People who have been there, they might be able to recognize the place. Is there anyone who knows എവിടുന്നാണ് ഇതെടുത്ത്? Which church? Very ancient church. പറയാവോ? Okay, I will give you a clue. This church is known for three wise men. Which church?
രാജാക്കന്മാരുടെ പള്ളി.
രാജാക്കന്മാരുടെ പള്ളി.
Where is it?
പിറവം പള്ളി.
Peruvampalli. Peruvam Rajadhiraj Rajakanmarade Palli. Right. So within this Rajakanmarade Palli, the church of the three kings. Is there anyone who can I'm sure that there are people who don't know, why this church is known as Rajakanmarade Palli or the church of three kings. Why they are connecting it with three kings or three wise men. Is there anyone who can enlighten us? Because I know there are some people who don't know. Jacob uncle?
Achan, what they say is it is believed that the three wise men came to that place.
Came to that place from
came
where?
From that place.
Came from that place. So there is a place in Kerala called Piravam, where there is a local legend that the three wise men who came to Bethlehem from the Far East, they were coming from Piravam. They were coming from that particular land. So I just visited that place today and just coming from that church. So while I was inside the holy altar, I noticed this picture, this depiction of nativity. And did you see the similar nativity? Similar. It's very similar. Similar nativity seen in any other church. I showed it to you. Any other church?
Paliyekara.
Palekara. Okay, right. So one thing that I wanted to show it to you then, and this is something very unique. So in Peravam, they say that they were the three kings. Okay. So Raja Kanma, they were the three kings. So, but when they visited Christ, do you see that two of them are wearing crowns and they are also having two gifts? And as they bow down in front of Christ, they are removing their crowns. The picture is not quite clear over here. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the one who is bowing down, he is removing that crown. So the crowns are being removed in front of the King, Christ, and he's offering he's submitting, he's offering his gift. Fine. And again, in this same icon also at the backdrop, you say a huge battalion, ഒരു പടയുണ്ട് അല്ലേ? So as if, they came not just as three wise men separately, they came with a lot of people, so showing that they were kings basically. So these are some of the icons, depictions, sculptures, relief works that I wanted to show you in this class. It's already 9:10. I hope you all liked this session. Thank you. Any question?
Sachin, thank you, Achan, for that insightful session. We'll, in the interest of time, we'll quickly move to the Q&A segment. You can raise questions related to today's theme of reading icons of nativity. You can either type it in chat or unmute and ask directly.
Chin, what is the difference between this icon and a normal painting? Like, to my understanding, even the facial features, everything is very, it's not very clear in icons because a person should not be having a specific face cut. Like, Mother Mary should look in a certain way. So my understanding of icon, it is very different from a normal thing. So what is the actual difference between an icon and a normal painting?
So I have talked about this particular question in detail in one of the eMGOCSM class. If Lalu, if you can share that video with them, it will be really helpful. And at the same time, I have also talked about this particular question in detail, and I'm going to share it with Lalu, and maybe Lalu can share it with you. In short, say the major criteria, there are certain major criterias through which we can say one icon is a picture is an icon or not. There are certain criteria, and the major criteria is icons expresses the faith. Okay, it talks about the faith of the whole church. It doesn't talk about the faith of an individual. Okay, that's the major criteria. If any depiction is just, for example, uh, Last Supper painting by Da Vinci. So the Last Supper painting by Da Vinci is the freedom of expression of not the church. It's the freedom of expression used by Da Vinci, right? So angane, that's the primary reason. And second reason, as you mentioned about the faces should look in a specific manner. That specific manner is different in different churches. So you can't you can't make it as an absolute rule. So if you go to Greece, the specific manner is different than in Egypt. That specific manner is different in Armenia. The specific manner is different in Ethiopia. So it's diverse, right? Ultimately, the point is the manner should be telling us something. So the reason why Mother Mary was not looking at Christ at the nativity scene is because she was looking at Joseph, because Joseph was going through something, right? So there is a
Okay.
reason behind why she was looking the way she was looking, right? So whatever gesture you are taking, it should be locally, culturally applicable. Many of the icons that we use, I studied under Coptic and Russian school. Many of the icons that we use are coming from Russian and Greek style. Those are basically not locally, culturally applicable to us as Indians. But still, we are using it because we think that the like icon should look at certain manner, but that's not completely true. If you show an Ethiopian icon, sorry, if you show a Greek icon coming from Greece to an Ethiopian, he will never call it as an icon. He will
Okay.
say that it's a Greek icon. So all the Orthodox churches, they have their own indigenous form of iconography. It's only within India, all both the Orthodox communities within India. We don't have our own. We are in that process. I personally, I'm in that process. I'm completely dedicated into it. But iconography definition അങ്ങനെ മാത്രമല്ല. അപ്പൊ ഇത് ചില ഒരു definitions ആണ്. പിന്നെ printed copies. If you use a printed copy of an icon, it's not an icon. It's a printed copy of an icon. Like icon should be done with your own hand. കൈകൊണ്ടുണ്ടാക്കി അങ്ങനെ കുറെ ക്രൈറ്റീരിയാസ് ഉണ്ട്. I hope Lalu will share the video, and I will also share the video with Simon sir, and he will share it with you.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
we have shared that in the chat, Acha, the link for that series of iconography.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
So, so can we close it if there are no
Yeah,
other questions? Yes.
yeah, I have a
Yes,
doubt.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if you can switch to the first nativity scene which you thoroughly explained, and in that image, bottom right
At the
corner, there is
bottom
an
right, there are
image.
some women who are giving bath to Christ, right?
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it's basically
okay,
just
and
that's the meaning. But it's not that common in ancient iconographies. It came very late. That's the reason why I didn't talked about it much. It doesn't carry much meaning. It's just that there were midwives who were taking care of
okay.
Christ. But truly saying, these are certain differences which doesn't go along with our understanding of nativity. മാതാവിന് ആരുടെയും സഹായത്തിന്റെ ആവശ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നോ?
Illa.
ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അങ്ങനത്തെ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ, that's the thing that I said. There are certain things which doesn't go along with our understanding of nativity. That's why I didn't shared anything about that particular part of the icon.
Okay, and Acha, who is that man beside Saint Joseph who is having doubts? I can't interpret that person, old man.
That person, I think I shared it with you all. That person is a personification of doubt. In some text, in some icon meaning text, it says that that person is Satan, that person is devil, who is trying to, ഈ നമ്മൾ ഈ പറയത്തില്ലേ കുത്തിത്തിരിപ്പുണ്ടാക്കാൻ അല്ലേ, trying to convince Joseph, this is something very fishy, something fishy is happening. How can she give birth to a child? She is a virgin, she is not. അങ്ങനത്തെ ചില doubts create ചെയ്യുന്നു. So basically, that person who is an old guy, it's a personification of doubt. And the reason why that person has been depicted as old, because that's not something new. right? Faith has always gone through doubts. So അതിനുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിനെ ഒരു old man ആയിട്ട് കാണിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്.
Okay, like when I was looking at the image now, so I have my own personal interpretation. I
Yeah.
interpreted that he might be Saint Angel Gabriel, because when Saint Joseph was having doubts, then Saint Gabriel came into his dreams and he confronted him about the virgin birth and about Virgin Mary. So it's my personal interpretation.
Yeah, it's a personal interpretation, but in that particular icon, if it was angel Gabriel, then that person would also have a halo. Okay, the halo that okay. So in that particular interpretation, maybe if we going to make a new icon where on a positive side, if Satan is going through, sorry, Joseph is going through such a confusion, and angel visits and tells him, give him comfort. അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു പുതിയ icon ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും, and I don't see anything wrong in it, right? We can create it, but in this particular icon, that person is doubt personified.
Okay. So
Acho,
that was from my side. Thank you, Acha.
Thank you.
Acho, in the Byzantine icon of Nativity, I see that Mother Mary is on a pillow or a cushion, white color cushion. So what is that
Yeah.
symbol?
Even in this icon also, I think you might have noticed Mother Mary is lying on a cushion. It's just showing that after giving birth. You're talking about nativity scene, right?
Yes, Acha.
So after giving birth, മാതാവിന് ഒരു റെസ്റ്റ് പോലെ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്ന് കാണിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. I mean, we are quite sure that there were no cushions there, but just to show that, she is taking rest. That's the only reason. These cushions and so much illustrious manner of depicting the icon, came mainly in Byzantine icon, because നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു കാര്യം മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. In Byzantine icons were funded by the empire. So whatever they draw, they used to draw in a very rich manner. അപ്പം അത് എപ്പോഴും if you see icon of Mother Mary enthroned, as if she is sitting on a throne, അതിലും ഇതിനകത്ത് ഈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസും എല്ലാം കാണും, അത് ക്രൈസ്റ്റിലും കാണും. So it's a feature of Byzantine iconography, because Byzantine iconography were mainly funded by the Byzantine Empire, which is not the same when it comes to Oriental Orthodoxy.
And Acha, in our churches, we see on the north side of the church, we always see a picture of Mother Mary. Does that have anything to do with nativity, or do we honor because she's the queen of the crown of the saints, or queen of the saints? That's why is that the reason why we keep her
Yeah,
on the.
you already said the answer. But that's the reason.
That is the
Because in
reason.
നിന്നാൽ സ്തുതിയോട് രാജമകൾ ഹാലേലൂയ നിൻ വലതുവശത്തായി രാജേശ്വരിയും. It's basically not north. We normally say north and all, but it's basically the right side of the altar. Not our right side. It's the right side of the altar. അപ്പോൾ ഓൾട്ടറുടെ വലതുവശത്ത് ആരാണ്? രാജേശ്വരി,
Okay.
രാജ്ഞി. So when we read about King Solomon, so just on the right side of King Solomon, his mother was sitting on his right side, right? So അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു depiction ചർച്ചിനകത്ത് വരും. അതുകൊണ്ട് you also make sure that whenever you are renovating the church or you're building the church, make sure that Mother Mary's place is always on the right side of the altar. So അത് ത്രോണോസ് ആയാലും ജസ്റ്റ് ഇഫ് യു ആർ പെയിന്റിംഗ് മാത്രം വെക്കുവാണെങ്കിലും ആദ്യം വലതുവശത്ത് മാതാവാണ് വരേണ്ടത്, വേറെ ആരുമല്ല. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ സെന്ററിൽ ഇപ്പോഴും ക്രൈസ്റ്റ് ആണ് വരേണ്ടത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഗോഡ്ലി ഫിഗർ ആണ് വരേണ്ടത്, ഒരിക്കലും പരിശുദ്ധന്മാരല്ല. അങ്ങനത്തെ ചില കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടോ? ഒക്കെ സമയം പോവും പറയുമ്പോൾ. ഓക്കെ,
Thank you, Acha.
Acha, I have one more doubt. Yeah. So, Acha, how can we venerate through icon without falling into the sin of idolatry?
say I have a long answer for this. There is always this possibility of falling into idolatry. It's not just while we are using pictures or paintings. It's even when it comes to money, right? When we consider money more important than God, when the church consider money more important than God, അതിലെല്ലാം idolatry ആണ് കയറി വരുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ in order to answer your question, to make it simple, um, I try to define veneration in a different manner, especially കൊച്ചുകുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നത്. Nowadays we have mobile, okay, and within that mobile, we have pictures of our loved ones, right? Our pictures of our parents, our brothers, sisters, husband, wife, അങ്ങനെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും പടങ്ങൾ നമുക്കുണ്ടല്ലേ. അപ്പൊ ഓർമ്മ വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അത് ഗാലറി ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്തിട്ട് പടങ്ങൾ എടുക്കും, അല്ലേ? പടങ്ങൾ എടുത്ത് അവരെ നോക്കി കണ്ട് അല്ലെ അവരെ ഓർമ്മിക്കാറുണ്ട്. വി റിമെമ്പർ ദം, വി ട്രൈ ടു റിമെമ്പർ ദ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ മൊമെന്റ്സ് ദാറ്റ് വി ഹാഡ് വിത്ത് ദം. ഈവൻ ദർ മൈറ്റ് ബി പിക്ചേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് പീപ്പിൾ ഹു പാസ്ഡ് അവേ, right? So by looking at that picture, you're not worshipping mobile, no? You're not worshipping mobile. You're not worshipping that image. കുറച്ചുകൂടി സിമ്പിൾ ആക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചു കാലം മുമ്പ് ഈവൻ ഞങ്ങൾ പോലും we used to carry a purse, and within that purse there used to be a small passport size photos of our parents, our loved ones, right? So while traveling, nowadays we don't have it much, I think. അപ്പം അത് ഇടയ്ക്കൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് നമ്മളത് പിക്ചേഴ്സ് നോക്കാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ചിലപ്പം ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് വെനറേഷൻ, ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് റെസ്പെക്ട്, we used to kiss that picture. That kissing is not given to that paper, right? Likewise, veneration is always the peak of respect, nothing else. അപ്പം അത് എപ്പോഴും ഓർമ്മ വേണം. നമ്മൾ ഏതൊരു I've seen desert fathers, the recent desert fathers, people who still live in deserts, I've seen them, their cell is completely blank. They don't have any pictures. They don't use any depictions, nothing at all. They might be just having one small cross, that's all. So they have reached to that level where they don't need anything. So these icons, prayer rope, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടല്ലോ. ഇപ്പം റൈറ്റ് നൗ this is from Nyaliyagudi Dera. These things are just worship aid for it, helps us. അപ്പൊ ഒരു പേടി വന്ന് പിടിച്ചു അല്ലെ, കുരിശ് അന്നേരം പിടിച്ചു അല്ലെ, സഹായിക്കത്തേ ഉള്ളൂ. They doesn't carry any power. They can work through this. Maybe God can help us, it can heal us, by holding it, it gives us a mental comfort. പക്ഷെ ഇതിനകത്ത് ഒരു പവർ ഒന്നും ഇല്ല. അപ്പോൾ always remember this. These are helping us to during in our spiritual journey. They are just helping us, nothing else. അപ്പോൾ ഈ കാര്യം മാത്രം ചെറുതായിട്ട് സിമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് ഇത്രയും പറയാൻ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ.
Okay, thank you, Acha.
Hi, Evening Father. In the interest of time, it's fine if you want to answer this offline, but just my question, and I'm just using the opportunity now.
Yeah.
The Gentile and Jew is depicted, as you said, in the donkey and the ox in the iconography, and even in your last week's course, the topography is. It looks like it's more about salvation's plan in the Nativity, and even in this evening's discussion. I always get confused in Matthew where Jesus told the Canaanite woman that he didn't come, he only came for the house of Israel. But so I'm always confused as to why he said that, where as you always have in the Jew and Gentile in salvation's plan.
Maybe because
when the Canaanite woman asked him for healing, he said he didn't come, he only came for the lost sheep of Israel.
Yeah, maybe so that through her something very important could be revealed, maybe to see her faith, because after such encounter, the way Christ treat that woman and those people, like those people, it's quite different. So maybe because he is just trying to know her faith, that's all, and that's how I try to understand. Same is with the Shamaria, the woman from Shamaria. The way Christ encounters that woman, it's also similar. To see her faith, to see their faith, and I think that's how I understand it.
Okay, thanks. So the answer was more of a challenge to her faith than him actually saying, well, he didn't come for the Gentiles.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to understand. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your active participation in the Q&A session. Thank you, Achan.
Game.
Thank you, everyone, for
Lily.
participating.
Thank you, everyone.
Quick
Thank you. Good night.
reminder for the next week's session at the same time. Thank you, everyone.